Today I figured we would make 3 of the smallest terrariums that I've made to date. The medium-sized one is going to house a few shiny spider beetles. This one I have a small Bumba horrida that's going to go in it, and this one I think is just going to have plants and probably springtails for the time being. So I went ahead and I cut some sponges for a drainage layer for each size. These are like little model display boxes or something. I'm not really sure what they are for technically. But I cut each one to fit snugly inside just to give us a little bit of a drainage layer to prevent any major mishaps. I think I want to start with the arid setup. So I have some, I believe it's called turface. They use it for baseball diamonds. That I'm going to put down first towards the front mainly. And then I have some excavator or Exoterra clay sand. I believe it's the I don't remember. Ochre is what it's called technically. I'm just going to sprinkle that towards the back because I do plan on adding a couple pieces of hardscape. These are going to be very quick little setups. They don't need to be overly complicated. I have some cholla wood that I've cut. This piece I'm just going to crush so I have some smaller pieces to play with. And then I have a couple pieces that have a little bit of character to them that I've been setting aside for, well, a build similar, or just a build just like this. So spider beetles are technically a grain pest. This one's a bit too big. I have a pair of side cutters because I do kind of still want to add it if I can. We're going to launch little pieces of cholla wood all over the house. They might come in handy later, we'll see. Anything will cut this. You could use a saw. I'm just find it a little bit easier to use something finer like this. So what I'm trying to do is just avoid seeing that cut edge as much as possible. So I'm going to add a little bit more clay towards this front side just to take away from that vibrant, freshly cut look. But what my thought is, I want to add, because as we all know, there's not much you can do for leaf litter in an arid bioactive, so it makes it a little bit more difficult to do that bioactive natural appearance with an arid setup. I think it's a little bit too busy now. I think that's how we're going to go. I'm going to give this a quick spritz down in a second here, just to harden up that clay for us. I also don't want it to be too moist when I go to put the animals in. They don't like it overly wet. There's one. Like I said, these are very basic, very quick setups. We'll work on our larger friend next here. So I have some flake soil mixed with black earth from a previous build that I still had laying around. Really wish I was doing this with gloves, but that's okay. So what I think I want to do with this one is, because the spider is so, well, the tarantula is so small, I'd like to give, I'm going to use a piece of leaf litter as the hide. Just because I don't feel cork looks too appropriate on a tiny scale like this. So I'm going to pack down our soil. I'm going to make a little mound in this back corner just to give some height to the enclosure itself. And I have a few pieces of, small pieces of root. I accumulate these over whenever I'm on a white walk or a hike or things like that. Well, for exactly reasons like this. They're great for little accenting pieces in small setups. I'm not sure what these leaves are. If you're aware, of what they are, please let me know in the comments. I call them bio leaves because when they were sold to me, I wasn't, there wasn't a label present. So I had no idea of what they are. So I really think that the spider will likely use that as a little hide. We're going to crush some more. Or, well, crush this one and add it in. They're not, if you're familiar with the species, they're very tropical, like things wet. But they're not terribly large webbers. Like I have my guy in a very small cup currently. And he doesn't really do much of anything aside from occasionally move his dirt around. And then I'm going to add a few of these guys. I call them spiral pods. Again, not actually sure what they are. That's just what they were sold to me as. I'm going to add 3 because I like odd numbers. I'm weird like that, if you've ever noticed. And there's another piece of root that I'm going to drop in. So that's our second one done. Quick, simple, easy setups. We're going to toss it off to the side for now. And our last but not least, I am going to add some cuttings to the 2 tropical setups. I'm going to use that same substrate for this one. Obviously, it doesn't need very much with how small it is. These are just like decorative pieces. I think I want to throw one on my desk and just figured, why not shoot it for a video? Show you guys that not necessarily everything has to be huge. Like, well, that's a... I don't have anything to compare it to. Oh, that's my Apple Watch to it and my Husbandry Pro bracelet. So it's very small. This one is going to be very, very basic, just on the principle that we're going to pretty much just use some very small ripped up leaf litter. And then I'm going to throw in a spiral pod, I think, is what I've decided, and maybe some cuttings. Give me 1 second here. I went ahead and got a couple of very small cuttings. I do want to give a shout out for this video. I got the idea from a customer or a subscriber actually, sorry, not a customer, who makes planted fish bowls. His name is Miguel. So if you see this, Miguel, thank you. This is Oakleaf ficus. I'm just going to drop a couple of cuttings in here. This is a plant that I struggle with personally. I think that it needs to have roots or be planted directly into the soil. So we're going to see if it will succeed in this little tiny tank. And then back to our Bumba horrida setup. I took a clipping with roots from one of my Seligania species. I don't remember which one it was because I took the label off sillily. So we're just going to drop this guy down so that he can get his roots to the substrate. And that's it. Let's get some animals out. So I've decided against putting the spider beetles in because I'm going to let that tank, or that cube that we built, dry a little bit more. But I do have a Bumba here who is going to go into our little house. Let's hope that she doesn't bolt on me. Hopefully you can see her nice there. Beautiful little spiderling. I have my trusty paintbrush. This is very wet. Come on. Oh, down and in. Just absolutely stunning. I don't know if it's a girl. I hope it's a girl. I gotta check the next mold. Still very young, but there's a better idea of her tank too, from a top down. Hoping that this leaf here can be used as we dug out that little hole underneath, so hopefully she can use that as a hide.